Hello, hello. Welcome to Top Shelf Backpacking. Today we are going over my 5 favorite things from my 100-mile trip on the PCT in Washington. Starting with number 5, the Bagler TR. This is what I use to dig my cat holes each day. Nice and lightweight, much more comfortable in the hand thanks to this little plastic bit than the Deuce of Spades and the Vargo Dig Digs I've used in the past. Has little serrations. There were a couple of times I did have to kind of dig through some roots to get down in there. Super glad to have this lightweight and fairly inexpensive gear piece in my bag. Thank you to Justin Outdoors for the recommendation. Got this from Garage Grown Gear. Great piece of kit. Super glad I had this on trail. Number 4 on the list, my favorite pieces of gear, was what I wore every day when I was hiking. This is the Mountain Hardwear Crater Lake Sun Hoodie. This guy kept me warm, kept me cool, kept me covered. I was able to make it out without any sunburns despite 100 miles of somewhat exposed hiking, often in the snow or in exposed sections. This guy does have thumb holes, which I don't really use, but the sleeves aren't so long that they got in my way. I like how smooth the material is, kept things from kind of rubbing and chafing like some of the other sun shirts I've used, so that have texture. And overall, this was just a really comfortable and nice piece of clothing. It was easy to clean, didn't show a lot of the sweat marks like some of the other darker colors I've used in the past. So number 4 on the list is the Crater Lake Sun Hoodie from Mountain Hardwear. Number 3 on my list of my favorite things from my 100 miles on the PCT in Washington was this Hyperlite Mountain Gear food koozie. I used quart-size freezer bags for all of my meals. I've used different food koozies in the past, such as the Big Sky International, popular right now from Eric Hansen's videos. What I like about this one, the flap folds back to allow you to kind of hold it for eating. It's smaller, so you do need to make sure you're using quarts, not gallon. But my favorite part is there's kind of a rigid piece in here which allows it to stand up when you're reheating stuff. And it gives you something to kind of hold on the bottom there. You can hold that and it doesn't just kind of collapse down onto your hand, since these Ziplocs themselves don't give you really any kind of structure. So this made rehydrating and eating the meals quite nice. And doesn't weigh that much. I kept my cook kit in it, and then this sat on my little upper pouch on my backpack, making it really nice and easy to get to. So number 3 on my list of favorite things for my hike is the Hyperlite Mountain Gear food koozie. Number 2 on my list of favorite things from my PCT hike in Washington is my pillow strap, pillow system we'll call it. I picked up the Big Sky International pillow. This guy weighs just over an ounce and inflates fairly thick. I am a side sleeper a lot of times. What the pillow strap allows me to do is, 1, attach it to my sleeping pad via this guy, and I could stuff an additional layer if I wasn't wearing my puffy or the clothes to hike in that day. I can stuff underneath. One of my favorite parts of it is it allowed me to slide my arm underneath if I was laying on my stomach, which is how I would go to bed a lot of nights, on top of everything. And I could just keep my arm in there, kept things nice and high up how I like it, and gave a really nice feel. The other nice thing is when I got home, I was able to wash it, which makes cleaning up a lot nicer than like a entire one-piece pillow, where you'd have to try and wipe it down and get all that gunk from 100 miles of hiking off of it. So number 2 on my list is the pillow strap, pillowcase, and the Big Sky International pillow, which I learned about also from Justin Outdoors. So thanks for the great tips. My number 1 favorite piece of gear from my 100 miles on the PCT in Washington isn't a piece of gear. It was some of the food that I ate. I packed in a handful of the Softfly or Luxly Base Camp meals. The chili relleno, the biscuits and gravy, some of my favorites. They gave me one I think they are kind of testing, so I won't talk about it, but I will tell you a story about it. Day 3 was the beginning of the longer mile days. I showed up to Adams Creek and it was flowing so darn fast that I didn't care to cross it and get all wet right before getting to camp, which was a quarter mile on the other side. So I filled up my water, I backtracked about a quarter mile, went up into the woods to kind of stealth camp on a hillside. I was able to get it level enough by stuffing gear underneath my sleeping pad that I was confident I'd be able to sleep, but just having a rough go, my feet hurt, had blisters for the first time in years, and just kind of a rough day overall after going from 15-mile days to 20-mile days. So I made this Luxly base camp meal. It looked interesting, we'll say, and it was not a combination of things I had ever heard of before. Stuff I was familiar with, just not in that particular form factor. Thought I'd give it a try, and my goodness, if that didn't put a smile on my face and really set the night off nicely. Nice, easy way to go to bed with a full belly. Delicious food, something I would consider making at home. I really hope they actually release this particular meal because it was so good. Yes, they're expensive. Man, after 20 miles, I definitely felt like I deserved it, and it was a fantastic way to end that particularly rough day where I didn't get the full mileage I wanted, didn't get the camp I wanted. Everything wasn't going my way until I had that meal from Luxly, and it was delicious. So those were the 5 favorite pieces of gear from my 100 miles on the PCT in Washington. Drop down in the comments, tell me what are some of your favorite pieces of gear, something maybe I should consider trying out. And until I see you again, cheers.